Man, we're gonna get in here early because if you blink your eye, you might lose. All right. So a lot of people, man, we riding around, you know, jump in the car, that dashboard light up. You don't know what's going on. Ah, man, is it the battery? No, some people got warning sensors for their tires, tire pressure sensor. Man, is it the alternator? Is it the starter? Man, what's going on? That's just how it is in life, man. You sit there and jump in your car, you don't know what's going on with your car, and now you got to figure it out. Same thing in life. What's going on with your life? You just don't know what's going on. You really ain't doing the best for yourself. You know, we busy out here. You know what I'm saying? Like if your car, something happened to your car, you go somewhere and get your car diagnosed. Where do humans go to get diagnosed? You got to go to a therapist. Shout out. What's going on, Tampa? What's going on, boss lady? Tamika in the building. So we can go. Say you just had an oil change. So we can go and find out what's going on with our car. A lot of times people don't go and find out about their personal life. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to figure out like you just not feeling yourself. You just keep going on about your day. You know, you're not really, man, I'm not feeling myself today. You feel something, but you don't know what it is. A lot of time it's the sluggish of how we eat. A lot of time it's other people dragging us down because you got to understand when it comes to some of us hanging around our friends, hanging around coworkers, man, what they call them? I forgot. I know Dapper Dan is the fly guy, but then you have Lazy Susie. You got Don't Want to Do Nothing Daryl. All those type of little names they had back in the day, where they had for everybody. It comes down to it. A lot of people literally get to a point in their life, man. So many people are dragging them down and they can't see it. You know, that goes to that warning light in your car. Sweet thumb, what's going on? It's just like the warning light in your car, the warning light in your life you're not paying attention to. Same thing with your money. You're overspending, man. Only way you know you're overspending when you get that text. Most people got that notification where they'll text you, your account has reached the limit. You know, if you have a deposit coming out, boom, it tells you, your check come in, check cleared, large sum of money just hit the bank. Boom. They got those little warnings. But what about those warnings that you don't know when you catch them overdrafts? They will sit here and overdraft the crap out before they start doing all these warnings. They were overdrafting people account like crazy. Now, I had to learn, don't spend over the weekend with your account. I started learning that I'm finna take out money and I'm finna use my money. If I have to use my card, I use it. But majority of the time, I try to use cash because if you don't keep tracking your money, trust and believe they will tear your pockets up. Overdraft. I remember I got seven overdrafts from Wells Fargo one time. And then when I started telling them I was gonna close the account, oh, we're gonna reverse them all because you're a loyal customer. You've been with us since the time you switched over from I think Wachovia. And I'm like, man, bump y'all. And see, it comes down to it. Like I say, with that warning light on in your car, you can go and get that diagnosed real quick. Go in there, get you a code reader at any place. What's going on? Can't stop. You can go get your code reader. Check it out. Like, man, oh man, I see my check engine light on because it's saying I got a pressure leak somewhere. Oh, it's saying I need my spark plug changed. Hey, those were the days, Dr. Dunbar. Uh, you know, Wachovia days. Who was the other bank? Before them, I think it was like First Union. They was all mixed into each other. They started buying each other out, and then hey, you had to convert. And Marie, what's going on? So when it came down to it, a lot of times you can go and figure out what's wrong with your car. A lot of people not figuring out what's wrong with themselves. That's the crazy part. A lot of people are not figuring out what's wrong with themselves. They're not going to get counseling. They're not going to get no help for themselves. They not sitting in here trying to see what's the best opportunity for themselves. When it comes down to it, some people, yeah, man, I want to go and become a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. We have all these dreams when we're kids. When we get to be an adult, we see, man, hey, it's some work we're gonna do with that. You know, maybe I just wanna, just go to school and figure it out. And we go and spend all that money for what? A degree we don't even go to school for. I mean, we don't even use when we graduate. There's so many people I know I went to school with in high school. When they went to college, I'm like, why you taking that in college? Man, I don't know, man. I just wanna, figure it out. And when it come down to it, hey, you just overall just what are you doing with yourself? What's going on? K business talk with K. Miss T with the T. What's going on? So, you have a lot of times, man, people in their personal life, like I say, we're gonna get into the finance too, but in their personal life, it's a balance that they gotta have. Just like that check engine light, you find out what the problem is, you apply to, fix the problem. A lot of us can't apply to fix the problem in our life because we set up with the mindset from everybody else. You know that old saying that your parents say, if somebody jump off a bridge, are you gonna do it too? 9 times out of 10, most people are looking around saying, yes, yes, I will. Because everybody else is doing it. Why not? And that's the thing. Even though we say, man, you crazy. I ain't gonna jump off no bridge. I ain't gonna jump off no bridge. But at the same time, hey, you end up doing it. You're ending up jumping off the bridge. You end up jumping off the bridge simply because everybody's doing it. I always talk about this on my channel a lot. Society standards. Society has a standard for us to the point where we gotta fit in. We gotta literally fit in with everybody else. That's the whole thing when your parents come back from back in the day. If somebody's gonna do it, are you gonna do it too? Because that's what we all evolved from right there. Everybody started doing it. When it comes down to it, we have a lot of people. I gotta get. I'm taking from the men then to the women. When it comes from the men, man, I want me a nice looking woman. I want me one of them IG women. I want me one of them IG women. Cause why? Everybody say, man, them women are pretty. They the best. Ah, man. But at the same time, that's when that check engine light come on. They ignore the signs. Man, some of those women could be the best women in the world. Some of those women could be the best women in the world. But to a degree, most of those IG women are on there for the vanity. They're literally on there for the vanity. The feel of them and everything, it comes with the territory. The feel of it comes with the territory. The field, and for people that always been several on my channel before, and I always hit them with that Maxwell. But what's going on, Go P? Hey man, no problems today, Go P. No problems, no problem, no problem, no problem. Sharita, what's going on in the building? Oh, there you go. I caught you. All right. April Showers in the building. Underrated. But back to what I was saying. A lot of times, we as men, we're trying to follow what everybody else is doing. There are a lot of men that say, man, I want the IG model because everybody else wants that type of woman. They want to fit in just like everybody else. You know, to a degree, a man brings a nerdy looking woman around there, they might say, man, that girl don't look good. That's the most beautiful woman at heart. She on the outside, you just can't see it. But on the inside, most beautiful at heart. She's loving, she's kind, she's gonna be with that man forever. But then you turn around and you get the ones that, when you really hit the nail on the head, man, they not the one. But we so caught up. because everybody's telling us, man, the beauty is what we say. It's not in the eye of the beholder. It's what I say my standard of beauty is, and you need to follow. Prime example, everybody listen to Kevin Samuels. He always talked about how I think what was it? Beyonce was a 10. No, Beyonce was a 9. Rihanna was uh Rihanna was a 10 and Kelly Rowland was an 8. In my defense, Kelly Rowland was a 9 to me, and I'm not going by his standard. I'm going by my standard. So it's a preference thing. Everybody have a preference. But the point of it is he was forcing people to say, well, this is the standard I have, so this is the standard that we should follow. And when it comes down to it, your preference, your standard, your morals, if you go against it to please or to fit in with everybody else, that's you. I know what I like. I know what I'm standing with, and hey, that's me. He can have that woman over there be a 10 all day. Everybody has a preference. I say all the time when I talk about my wife is my 10. You know why I say that? Because that's who I chose for one. And for two, if you really do the numbers and you really look at it, I married her for a reason. G Mama, what's going on? I married my wife for a reason. That's my 10. So I can listen to people say, man, your wife is okay. She's cute. She all right. Hey, she the best thing smoking in my life. That's my 10, you know? And you got to be to the point where you find out what your 10 is. Now, dun dun dun, we going to go to the women. So when it comes down to women, women have this, approach to where they love a man, they like a man, they don't know. But when I go back to that society standard puts a lot of these women into a point to where, girl, if he ain't got no money, don't fool with him. Don't fool with him. The man gotta have the money. The man gotta this and the man gotta that. You put so many standards on that man to where a lot of women they say, well, I don't want to be like everybody else. You know, I seen Charleston White say he told his wife he'll marry her. When it came down to it, it was all about I like you, I respect you. We'll find love later. Let's get married. And they was looking like, what? What do you mean by that? He say love it comes and goes. But the level of respect you can't find that with everybody else. See, with his mindset, man, that might even start a good relationship. If you married for the love and then the love phase, then what? So everybody has their own standard, and I said I like that. But then, like I say, you go back to the women's standard. All of them got to have the same mindset. That's what they're pushing. Same thing with the men. All the men got to have that same standard of type of woman, IGE. Just like I was having a conversation, prime example on April Showers, and she was like, y'all men need to send a memo out to let the everybody know, far as men and women, that we was talking about the BBLs. In my opinion, a lot of women get the BBLs the stunt on other women. You know, what's the thing back in the day? Like April Shaw said, what was it, Saturday? Like, man, yeah, men love a big booty and a smile, but naturally, I like you for you. You know, shout out to Gold P. We had a conversation. There's a difference between the man and the male. A man knows what his purpose and know what he needs to do and know how he needs to garner and handle his relationship. A male, you get what you get with him. You get the emotion, you get the anger, you get the frustration, you get the undecisiveness, the point of him not even knowing what is what, and he have to follow his woman lead. Hey, that's how it is when you get a male. You know, going into a situation with a woman. You know, it it's a different thing between a woman and a female. You know, a female, hey, she gonna cook and clean for you, but she ain't gonna respect you. You know, That woman is gonna respect you. She gonna love you. She knows how to garner her relationship. She know how, she has the capability of, understanding a man to a certain point, and understanding that in this relationship you have to let him lead. Ah, man, that might hurt some people's feelings, to a woman saying the man's gonna lead. He no, that's, see, the standard has been broken, even when it come down to the youth, that the elders are not even in charge no more. It was always a chain of command. Now that chain of command is broken. You know, I seen that once where they were saying how, goes back to that check engine light. They're trying to make the young man play on the other team, and they're trying to make the women, of course, chase things that's not even there. You know, oh, Nikki, no, don't do me like that. Hey, yeah, don't do me like that. Then you might throw me up under the bus on the Wednesday wind down. You might get a couple of cups and you might say, "Well, let me tell you about she we here." Nah, we ain't gonna do that. But now, when it comes down to it, that's the thing though. Like, society is pushing a lot of times men and women in different directions. You on the bus? Society is pushing us in different directions. They want us to be at war with each other. They want us to be against each other. They want to have different standards for each other. But that was the thing. When I got married, it came down to that situation where I said, man, I don't know if I can do this. I had to literally go and seek counsel from what? Wise counsel. See, a lot of times we have these people telling us stuff. It's mostly times, like I say, when it comes down to it, what's going on, Robert? You literally have kids raising kids. When I say kids raising kids, you literally to the point where your friends are giving you way more advice than your parents. Your friends don't clothe you, your friends don't feed you, your friends do none of the above, but at the same time, your friends are being more of an influence than your parents. And when that happens, it becomes a problem all day 100, because your friends are at a point to where they're learning from other friends, they're getting misguided information, and the information that they are giving that's correct, they're diluting it, because why? They want to give you their version of what a happy wife and a happy life is. They want to give you their version, you know, of what it takes to be great, telling them, Stuart, what's going on. And when it comes down to it, a lot of times we have these issues because nobody wants to sit. I can sit there and listen to an older person all day. Whether they're right or wrong, I'm going to listen, but I'm also, as the old saying goes, eat the meat and spit out the bones. If you're, my grandmother always told me, when it came down to it, there's no difference than a young fool and an old fool. A young fool never got wise and became an old fool. A lot of times you have older people giving out bad advice because they never learned. They never finished the lesson themselves. So for the ones that are wise, you paying attention to them, they give you greatness. They give you lifelong lessons that you can live and pass on to your kids. You know, I always talk about, I love my granny so much. I used to sit there and watch baseball, talk with my granny. Didn't like baseball to save my life, but at the same time, I love my granny. And we sit there and had our talks. You know, my uncles messed up. One of my uncles, my older uncle from my grandmother's brother, this guy messed up in life, but he came back towards, getting older. He started settling down, started giving me so much wisdom. He said, man, I did drugs, I did all this stuff. He said, man, I should have been there for y'all more, but at the same time though, ain't nothing like the present. Man, I'm gonna start doing this for you, doing that a lot, getting into things, feeling. Jackson Street, what's going on? Long time, long time. But when it comes down to it, that's the whole point of having that check engine light. We don't have nobody to talk to help us cut that light off. Same thing with finance. Oh man, like I told you, when it come down to it, that check engine light gets serious when it comes down to finance. A lot of us, our parents don't even know nothing. When most of our parents didn't know anything about finance. I tell you this right now. My aunt went to school for business and finance. She taught her two daughters and son. All three of them were successful in far as money and finance. They always had decent credit scores, you know, to a degree. The youngest one, she followed the trend of friends. But when it came down to it, always had decent credit scores. Always had decent credit scores. They they did what it took, you know, save money, made sure that they counted, every penny to the degree. I have a cousin that taught me he pays all his bills one time from the first to the fifth. He said, because normally when you pay your mortgage, not rent, when you pay your mortgage, you're paying it the first to the 15th. Anything after that is late. He does it just like an apartment. He pays it from the first to the fifth. Pays all his bills, first to the fifth. If something ain't came out yet, so called guesstimated, okay, I normally pay this every month. I'm gonna pay this on this bill. It shouldn't be over this. He literally learned a lot of things from his mother and his father. Both of them had business. That was the crazy part. My aunt had her own business. She had a corner store. My uncle, he had a pest control business. Now both of them had full-time jobs, but when my aunt started her corner store, she had to quit her full-time job because she was making so much money. She had to dedicate so much time to that establishment. And this is what I'm talking about when it's going into finance. She literally taught her kids everything they needed to learn as far as the finance for them to regulate their life. And after that, it was up to them to implement it. Now, going into the grandkids, my little cousins, these guys are horrible with money. They always overdrafting their account. Uh, the crazy thing is, I had a cousin bought a car, and you need at least 30 days, before you get a ticket about having insurance. This guy waits 2 months before he gets insurance, get a ticket for no reason. All you had to do when you buy the car, you're supposed to get insurance. Just stupid stuff like that, being irresponsible. But because his mother and father wasn't together, he just took it upon himself to roll with everything else. He had a friend told him, "Man, you don't need to get insurance to at least about a month or two." So, and that's what he did. He talked to his father. His father say, "You don't supposed to drive that car without insurance." It took this guy getting that many tickets for him to realize my dad is right, my friend is wrong. That goes back to the wise counsel. You know, you run around with friends, they're gonna make sure that check engine light on. That check engine light is going to stay on with your friends. Hold on. Drop some wrenches on some people. I might have to probably go back and do that a little later then. But when it come down to it, hey, a lot of your friends are steering you down the wrong way when it come to money because they don't know. Prime example. I always talk about this guy. I know this guy. If he ever gets on my live, he can be like, "Hey man, stop saying this. Stop saying this. At least I don't never say your name, man." So he told me, he said his mother told him the best advice about credit cards is don't get them. Don't get a credit card. That's the best advice his mother told him. Father, not really good with money. But mother told him the best advice for credit card is don't get them. He ended up dealing with He ended up dealing with his girlfriend. He ended up marrying her, but girlfriend at the time, and they were going talking and stuff, and he was paying. She was like, "Why are you paying with your debit card? Why you just don't use the credit card and pay it over time? You have the money, build up your credit." He's like, "I don't have credit. I don't have a credit card." He's like, "Why?" "Well, credit is bad." She's like, "No, it's not. Credit is the best thing." She was like, "Without credit, how can you get approved for a house? How can you buy a car?" He's like, "I pay for everything in cash." She's like, "Well, how are you going to plan on getting a house with no credit?" Hey, people can, it's just the thing that people do. He came up with every excuse because he didn't know about money. Growing what was going on. He didn't know about money. He was never properly trained, taught when it came to money. So with him not learning how to use credit and knowing how credit works properly, it came down to a man. It hurt him. His his wife goes and get a car. Her car, I think she got a interest rate of 3.4, some 3 point, something small. He goes and try to get approved for a car. 18, 20, 24. He was like, every time he went to different places, they was high. He's like, "How are yours in the single digit?" She was like, "My credit score." She was like, "Man, ever since I was a child, my mother has put me on her card as an authorized user." So that boosted her credit. Then came in with a $5,000 secure credit card, and then ended up getting an unsecured credit card because her parents knew about money. The more you put down on a secure credit card, 10 times out of 10, when that bank gives you that secure card, the unsecured card, they're going to give you that money back, the 5,000 that you put in, and they're going to give you an unsecured card because you did so well managing your secure card. And I always talk to people and they say, "Man, I'm going to put 500 on my secure card. I'm going to get $1,000 secure card." No, max it out the most you can. See, that's the things we're not taught. I mean, the bank is gonna automatically throw this at us about a 500 or $1,000 secure card. But if you really know a little bit more about money, you want to get the higher amount because it reflects when you're getting the unsecured card. And if you don't know, you're gonna always go with the 500. Then once you get done, 12 months, maybe a little longer, depending on how you use the card, you know, that 30%. A lot of us don't know we're not supposed to spend over 30%. If you got $1,000 car, you're not supposed to spend over $300. You're supposed to take that card, get you some gas every 2 weeks on that card or something like that, and then pay it off. A lot of people don't know if you pay your credit card twice in 1 month and before the statement comes out, it boosts your credit too. See, that's the things we don't know. We gotta learn this stuff. We gotta really know what credit is, so our check engine light won't always be on. We really gotta know when we're going to buy a house that they have programs to where you can get literally a house with no money down. All you have to do is pay the closing costs. And in some instances, you can get the person that you're buying the house from pay that closing cost. People who are in the military, they can go buy a house with no closing costs, no down payment, nothing. Their rate might be a little higher, far as their payments, but the interest rate, they're gonna give them a decent interest rate because they was in the military. Then they can go back and refinance, put money down, all that stuff, better mortgage. But the point is, we don't know. Nobody's teaching us this. And a lot of times we get older in life, that's when we start learning this stuff. But are we passing it down to our kids? Prime example, I got a cousin. I was talking with him, and it came to the point where he was like, "Man, my dad had a whole bunch of houses when I was young, and him and my mom was together. They was doing this, and he never taught me about houses. And because he never taught me about houses, that's why I never went and bought a house. I've always got an apartment." And I said, "Dang, that's crazy. Your dad had all these houses and this and that." He's like, "Yeah." I say, "But the question is this. Did you ever ask your dad why he didn't teach you this?" He's like, "No, I never asked him." I say, "To a point, in my opinion, you probably wasn't ready in his eyes. And he said, well, I never thought about it like that. I said, you got to understand, as a parent, my job is to prepare you for life, but you can't give a child a loaded gun because they don't know what to do with it. That's the same thing with information. A lot of times you giving these young kids information, they don't know what to do with it. They're just gonna push it off. Like the old people say, in one ear, out the other. I was having a conversation with a guy yesterday. He was saying that he talks to his 10-year-old son like almost like a teenager. I mean, a young adult, not a teenager, but actually like a young adult, to the point where they talk about money and finance. His son is so gun ho on owning his own business versus going to work for somebody. So now what the father's doing, he has his LLC, everything set up, and he's showing his son, like, come in here, let me show you this. Prime example, same with me. I have paperwork I have to do for my job. I bring my paperwork home, I show my sons, and I show them this, and they say, well, what is all these numbers over here? This is the money. Shout out to Underrated. It's going live at 10:30 this morning. I'm about to get ready to jump off in a little bit anyway. But I showed them this is all the deliveries I do and the amounts that the company that we subcontract for, that's how much they pay. Now, if you're gonna look right here, I get a percentage of that. I told my sons I get a percentage of every amount right here. I say, so add this up and see how much that is. Add it up. I said, okay, well, on this day, you made like close to 1,000, but on this day, excuse me, you made like close to 400. I said, so I get a percentage of that 1,000 and I get a percentage of that 400. He said, well, that's all you get paid. No, I get paid salary. I said, so I get paid salary on one end, and on the other end, I get paid commission. So more of my sons starting to see, like, man, so you actually start getting calls. But yeah, it's the whole thing of like having that level of understanding to where you teaching these kids this stuff and they accepting and knowing. Like once I started teaching my boys that, I told them, I say, now this is your opportunity to where you can work for somebody, get this type of money, or you can subcontract, work for yourself and get this money. It depends on the best results that you want for yourself. And talking and establish that to your kids, that's the thing. You're right, tell them, Stu. Like the little financial talk, we don't have that. Most of us don't have that with our kids. We tell our kids, don't spend your money. Put your money in a savings. What is that money doing in the savings? Why not invest it in something? You know, that's just dead money sitting in the account while it's in the savings. Have up to so much money in your savings and the rest of it invest. You can put in a stock. The stock goes up and down. You can get life insurance. The life insurance, depending on what life insurance you get, man, you're always at an advantage. You can take money out of there. Go into your 401k. A lot of people, IRAs. There's so many vehicles you can put money into and gain money out of. But the point is, it has to be a limit to where that money has to mature and grow. See, a lot of people, they come into that JG Wentworth. It's my money. I need it right now. That on that point of scale, you're always gonna lose. That's where payday loans was mainly created for people with that mentality. It's my money and I want it now. You want it fast. That's where they have all these what is it, Dave? I think I always see the app about Dave where they can give you money right now off your paycheck. I see all these different, people that can push you to get money early for what? What are you doing with this money? I understand emergency. That's the whole point of having your savings. That's the point of having investments to where you can pull out of your investments and obtain money. I still got money in crypto. It's going up and down. I said I might as well leave it in there. And it was funny. My son told me to take the money out when it was high before all this stuff started going, and I didn't listen to him. And he was like, "See, Dad, you should have listened." He said, Half of it's my money. You should have just took my half out and left your half in." I laughed at him, but at the same time, he was right. That was the whole reason why I was, showing him how to do the crypto was actually for him to learn the process and for him to, say, "Okay, cool. This is how crypto works." His other brother wasn't really into crypto. It's not good for everybody. But the point is, you learn something that can, evolve you. And that's the whole thing. So when it comes down to it, man, be the best that you can be. Make sure dealing with that check engine light, make sure you properly get some help. You don't want to go through life with that check engine light on, you know. And even worse, when it gets to the health part, I'm gonna speak on this. Shout out to Shannon Ross. I always say this about Shannon. Shannon always makes it perfectly clear. I started taking my vitamins. Anybody over 30, you in your 20s, but anybody over 30 should be taking at least a multivitamin. Yeah, that overdraft protection. It's up and down. A lot of people use their savings as overdraft protection, but yeah. But you should be taking a multivitamin. I take one that's Miracle 2000, not promoting them, but just look into them. They're a good company. It's liquid, hits the bloodstream faster, and with all the minerals and everything shook on in there. Kev in the building. What's going on, Kev? You know, taking these vitamins, supplements is good for your body. Watching what you eat. Man, I've been dropping so much weight lately, just not eating bread, like cutting out the meat. I've actually ate, I do my little cheat day when we was eating meat on the weekend. And I think I'm about to cut that out too. But the majority, just cutting out the bread, man, I've seen a dramatic change. You know, the first time I looked, I think I lost like 3 pounds, and came back and looked again. I lost another 4. That's what even not working out. That's just me just going to work every day, doing my regular routine. I have a physical job, then turning around and just taking my vitamins, not eating bread. That it helps a whole lot, you know. And I trying to cut out these eggs, for my cholesterol. And I already know I don't need hey, to subscribe me some medicine to take. I'm not taking that stuff. I looked at the side effects. It induces your glucose levels to where you have early diabetes. And I'm like, I'm already at risk of having diabetes because of my weight. And then you're gonna give me some medicine that puts me more at risk, and then I have to go retake another physical within 3 months. Nah, we not doing that. So what I did was I already know when I got me some burdock root, some thornberry. So I'm taking my thornberry, flushing my system out with the burdock root. And a lot of times when people take burdock root, you got to make sure if you're on medication, because that burdock root will flush a lot of your medication out of your system. So you take something light. Thornberry is not bad. It's good. Spirulina, all these different natural stuff. Do your research, you know. But I already know what I gotta do. I just gotta stop being lazy and go on to get that check engine light cut off and make it happen, you know. When it comes down to it, I'm not trying to have a lot of back pain as I get older. And I'm starting to see more. The older I get, that weight isn't coming off as fast. You know, the weight is not coming off fast the older you get. A lot of people fail to realize that. So they got to initially do some things, cutting back on your food. You know, the best way to do it is detox. You know, if you can withstand going on a liquid diet for a length of time, just drinking a lot of juices and stuff, not the natural juices, not the processed stuff that, get you a juicer. Try to get you a juicer. I know it's a lot of work to clean it. I get on my aunt about that now, but I told her the natural it'll cut your weight down. It'll cut a lot of your health stuff down, you know. But you got to be committed to it. That's the thing. But with that being said, shout out to everybody, for the oh man, it's a last minute thing too. Yeah. So with that being said, I just got a text I gotta adhere to. You know what I always say when I get up off of here? We here and we gone. Shout out to everybody that came through. Hit the like button on your way out. I keep forgetting I'm a YouTuber, so I gotta tell y'all hit the like button. If you already here, you already subscribed. You already know what it is. So I ain't even gotta tell you to sub to me. But when it comes down to it, hey, check out everybody's channel. Shout out to April Showers, always coming in, good moderator, best moderator, dropping channels. All the channels that are dropped, man, go check them out. A lot of good people that I be around, I hang around, like good, you know, good coming talks. I like good, back and forth dialogue. But it just more or less with respect. We might don't agree with everybody in their channel, what they're doing, but at the same time, if you have a level of respect for the person, you can kind of negotiate, their standpoints, whatever they're talking about on their channel, and have an understanding. If it's not for you, just not for you. But at the same time, you know, try to get a level of understanding before just throw somebody up under the bus or discredit whatever they got going on. But shout out to everybody that came through. You know, like I say, hit the like button on your way out. Once again, you know what I always say, we here and we gone. Oh, what is that? Sweet Thumb just dropped some. Gotta go over here and check out Sweet Thumb.